So on the occasion of your birthday, I'd like to thank you for those gifts that you've given me, the gift of fun, the gift of adventure, excitement, the gift of joy, the gift of love, the gift of your support, your companionship. I just love being with you.
I want to talk to you all a little bit about Mom, and I could speak about Mom for hours. I could tell you all many, many stories about how wonderful it is being her son, but I want to give this microphone back to Gray over here and to this incredible band, so I'll just list my top 80 things. That'll be all right. But we are I'm just kidding, but we are celebrating an enormous milestone here, which is really wonderful to see. And growing up here in Easton and living with Mom, I didn't quite understand how uniquely incredible of a person I got to come into this world from. And as I've grown up and moved away and seen life with miles between us, I've learned about her specialness and her shine that I know each one of you all know so well. Possibly more from her absence than while I was in its presence. You know, when you're young, you know less. And with less perspective, you think everything and everyone is the same. But with every passing year, I've become more proud of her. And more proud to be her son. And for one, I've begun working. And in my working life, I've learned how difficult it is to balance ambition with a social life. You know, for my wife Carmen and I, a big Friday night events include a hot toddy, a bowl of popcorn, and taking a nap while the TV's on. But for Mom, the parties have been incredible. And I know I've seen so many of you all I have a relationship with so many of you all because we've been at parties. But I can tell you, I remember being this tall, wearing a tuxedo, playing the maracas in a band kind of like this in a different living room, while Mom was dancing in a circle like we've already been doing. And I think you have been such an unbelievable figure to connect people together socially. And then I think about your career, and I could talk about the wonders of your career in so many different ways. And I'm going to just find my notes here. Well, and we think about the wonders of the things that Mom has designed. We think about the things that she creates and brings into the world. I love to talk about her as a young architect, working at the World Bank, hanging out with a helicopter in the Philippines, designing a city. And Armin and Aunt Mary were there. They can tell you if I've embellished that story, but it's core for me. And there's a question that I think is an interesting question to ask people. They say, if your house were burning down and you could grab one thing, what would that thing be? And for me, that answer, I have a very sacred book next to my bed, and within it there's a flyer of Mom's one-man show in Tokyo in 1969, and she's there staring into the camera with her head perched onto a artwork that she's done with her bare feet wrapped around it. And she has taken that deep, deep enthusiasm and passion for art and moved from the canvas to a construction site. Because we all know how much she's loved building a home. And many of her homes did I get to live in. And what I learned profoundly that I've only gained clarity on as an adult is how Mom looks at something and sees it for what it could be. You know, Mom will walk into an apartment building and say, no, this wall is going to be over here, And then we're gonna build a 65-foot spiral staircase up there, and I know a great bird cage guy. And we're gonna have a lighthouse here, and we're all gonna be able to sip tea in the middle of the night. You know, and I think most people walk into a room and say like, oh, we're gonna sit there, or if we really want to get crazy, we feng shui the couch over here. I'm not really out of the box, but Mom has taught me how to look at things and see what they could be. And I know each one of you all feel that. And being around her to get to understand what that imagination and ambition has painted such a beautiful life here. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about my mom is something I've learned in my adult wisdom years, the uniqueness of my beautiful mom's heart. And your willingness to share it with people. Because I've watched her my whole life light up people's lives, and I know each one of you know what I mean when I say that. You make people feel special. You make people feel valued and seen in a world that rarely does that. And life can be tough. No matter what background you come from, the emotional body and the human experience of having one can be quite difficult. And hardships create walls for most of us. We can lose our trust, we can lose our sight, and we can create defensive mechanisms that we hope will protect us, but at the same time they cut off parts of ourself. We can dim our lights and we hide. And Lord knows, Mom has had her fair share of difficulties along the path, but I cannot state enough how impressed I am that you haven't let that dim your light. And to the contrary, you've actually shined brighter in spite of it. You've opened your heart continually and stayed true to sharing with all of us who you truly are. Where most people have walls, that no one could scale, you have a burning fire that all of us can come get warm from. And it's fitting that you're wearing sparkles, reflecting the light. Noticed, yes. And reflecting the light that each of us shine to you. But my darling mother, I know I speak for each and every person here tonight when I say that we'd see you shine no matter what outfit you change into. I love you. We all love you. Happy birthday, Mom.
We're going to try to keep this tight. Let me tell you how this started. So I got a mock-up of the invitation for this party. And it was come to the Boutet's Disco Motown Dance Night. And I said, Mom, first of all, there's no mention of your birthday here. I said, second of all, I don't think all these friends of yours, some of which I know, some of which I don't, are just going to show up to dance night. And she said, well, honey, if I tell them it's birthday, everybody's going to ask how old I am. And God bless you, Mom, you have done one hell of a CIA agent's job of keeping that under wraps. Because I said, listen, we have to celebrate this mile marker for you. And I can tell you how many people have come up to me and said, oh my God, your mom is 80? There is no way I believe that. And my growing up with Mom, as Banks can attest to, anybody that was a male in our family can attest to, if you ever even came close to disclosing my mother's age, you'd rather fight 12 guys, because there was no upside in that scenario for you. That was our family's best kept secret. And no, I'm not. But the reality is, Mom, is you're so incredibly young at heart, and always, when I think about age, I recently turned 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting up there. I'm getting a little dusty. But, I think about time a lot, and I think that my perspective on time has come full frontal ever since I lost my old man, since you lost your husband, Dave, who was such a wonderful friend to so many of you. I was 16 years old and Banks was 13, and when you lose your dad at 55, it puts time into perspective. Somehow, your dad is kind of always your own mile marker in some way, in terms of your own timeline of life. So at 40, you're like, well, I got another 15 years. And of course I'm of the belief that hopefully I'll have the blessings of living longer than that. But in terms of the reality of this guy was 6'6", and he was a Marine officer and in great health, and all of a sudden this impossible superhero died. And it shows you the reality that this is fleeting. And, we had the opportunity of Peter coming into Mom's life. And Peter, you have been just an unbelievable, steadfast supporter of my mother that I know if my dad were able to be here today, he'd be so thankful for you. And I can say that honestly. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And we're, as I get a little older, I think about time, and then I think about what's most important, and a close second to your health is your relationships. And I've always talked about the value of relationships. I have friends here today that I'd like to have come up and stand with me. Sky, are you for a second? And Hardy, if you're here, and Tay. I don't think Kaiser's here, but his mom is, but we're waiting on him. Come on up here just for a second. Where's Hardy? Here he comes. Here he comes. Come on up here. He's making his way up here. He's a big guy. So these guys have been friends of mine for 30 years, and brothers of mine. And if you think about that, going back to about being 10 years old, the blessing you have of having lived, so much longer than Dad, seen so many more chapters than Dad had the opportunity to see. I've encouraged my mom to, now that the cat's out of the bag and we know how old you are, to embrace this age, to embrace it, because you're so, seriously, and all jokes aside, not everybody gets to see 80. We've had some friends who haven't made it and lost them along the way. And hopefully we get to see 80. But if we don't, it's nights like these that count. It's nights like these where you remember what's most important to you. And that, at the end of the day, is your relationships. It's the people that you love and you care about. And you build a place like this that Mom started and I finished, and Krista helped me do this together, my beautiful wife, who's my absolute best friend, who doesn't like to give speeches, but God love her, she's with me. We did this to enjoy each other's company while we have this little bit of time here on this earth together. And nothing makes me happier than being surrounded by the people I love. And I know my mom is that same way. I would say your single greatest attribute, which is hard to really drill down into because you frankly have so many, thanks, really did a great job of highlighting those, is every single time, think about this, and call me out if it doesn't hold true for you. Every single time you talk to Caroline, she is just, if it's raining outside, if the market's down, if there's a war going on, if it's snowing, if your favorite band just announced they're no longer on tour. Caroline is the most upbeat person you have ever talked to, and she is so happy to speak to you. You are. Every single time, Mom, I pick up the phone, my mom is just over the moon, thrilled to chat with me, and you lift up my day. I really commend you for that. That's a level of positivity I can only aspire to meet, And so, on behalf of everyone here tonight, on behalf of people we love, and these small moments in time that we can really encapsulate and enjoy together as a family, please raise a glass in celebrating not only my mom, but to what matters most in our short lives here on this earth, which is our relationships.
Yeah.
So
live to 80. And secondly, I hope for all you baby faces out there that you can see you can still keep plugging away and enjoying life. And I'm planning to go to 100, and I'd like y'all to go with me. So,
on 3. Okay?
Okay.
We got to do it on go.
We gonna do it when
We
I
got to
say
do
do
it
it.
on go.
Tina, eat the cake.
Okay, Ike. Man, you ready?